Okay, so thanks to the internet, some more product images have come to light for the Bakugan Battle Planet series, so we're going to take a look at them. We've got a few interesting things in here, and some things that I think reveal a bit of how the game is supposed to be played. So, starting off on the Imgur link I have here, which has some of the images I've gathered off of the Bakugan wiki. You can take a look at the link below. Starting off, we have the Bakugan Battle Planet Bakugan Storage container. Now, the Bakugan Storage containers have been a thing since the beginning. I have the original one hiding back here behind me just over my shoulder, and the original one could hold 24 Bakugan in it, or 18 with a separate section for cards. Now, taking a look at this one, it comes with a Bakugan. In this case, it specifically says it comes with a Dragonoid. The picture here has, the next picture here has a picture of the darkest Dragonoid in it, so I don't know if that's the one inside or if it's random, although the case is transparent, so you can probably just peek inside and get a look. But looking at this, it looks like it can stash 14 Bakugan in there, and it doesn't like use the old divvied up box method of the original. Instead, it actually looks more like the Mectanium Surge carrying case, the one that was kind of a funny shape. In order to carry it, it has a slot for cards right in the middle, and a slot below it to hold the Backu cores. Although, judging by the bumps in the back, you could also just not put those in there, and instead stash 4 more Bakugan. So you could either stash 14 Bakugan along with some cards and Backu cores, or you can stash 18 Bakugan just straight up. Maybe they'll have another device or something. I'm not seeing anything like the clips or like the capsules that they released in later editions. Maybe they'll do that if it catches on. Taking a look in here, I'm seeing some of the Aurelus ones. I think it's fairly certain to say that Aurelus is the new Subterra at this point. I'm seeing Dragonoids. It's all in ball form, and it's kind of interesting. This looks like just sort of a photo somebody took at the office, or like some sort of trade show or something, of these things sitting on what looks like a velvet table. It'd be interesting to see if more of these kinds of photos exist. If more of those came out, it would give me a lot more to work with. But I find it interesting that they decided to shape it this way when the original one worked so nicely to hold 24 of them at once. The thing about the Mectanium, the Gundalian Invaders one. Yeah, I think it was actually the Gundalian Invaders one, not the Mectanium Surge one. It was one of those two. The reason it had that kind of weird shape to it was because it was designed to hold pieces other than just regular Bakugan. It was also meant to hold, like, the Battle Gear and the Backu Nano and the Mobile Assault and all those things, which is why it was designed that way. It's a bit interesting to see this one shaped like this. It makes me wonder if they're going to be like specially shaped support pieces in the near future. That's the only reason I can see them designing this setup like this. Next up, we have the starter set. So there are going to be 3 Bakugan starter sets. It looks like it comes with 2 regular Bakugan, 1 Bakugan Ultra, the cores that come with them, and judging by the look of the stacks here, the ones with the black backs with the attribute logos on them, those are the character cards. Those are cards that you, I assume, set aside at the beginning to show what your Bakugan are. Those are like your starting Bakugan. And the red cards are probably the ability cards. But here's the thing, is looking at this starter set, it looks like it comes with a pretty fat stack of ability cards, like 20 of them, which I can assume these red-backed cards are. These also have a symbol on them. They also have a tap symbol or a rest symbol on there that... I don't know if that's like used as a resource or something. It looks like they've basically changed how everything works, like literally everything, except for how the Bakugan opened up. I think I can say conclusively that you cannot use any of your old stuff in the new game, and you know, to be fair, it has been like 8 years for them to basically do everything from scratch. Kind of makes a bit of sense. I mean, I kind of approve of the idea of them basically starting with a clean slate, because it means that it gets rid of all of the nasty, horrible power creep that hit the original game, where the very strongest Bakugan were either the ones that just came out or the ones released in the very first set because of the Chaos 2 strategy. So we have another picture of them resting on the battle cores there, the Backu cores, whatever they're called. We've got a Chaos Milius there. That's kind of cool. But that fat stack of cards, it's also the red back, and there was also the Diamond Dragonoid card. I didn't actually show off that card. That's actually an evolution card. So evolution cards are back again, but the fact that it has a red back makes me think that the evolution cards get shuffled into your ability card deck. And that's actually really weird for Bakugan to do, because the original Bakugan series, your deck was only 6 cards. 6 cards exactly. You had 3 metal gate cards, 1 silver, 1 gold, 1 bronze, and you had 3 paper ability cards, 1 red, 1 green, and 1 blue. And each of them kind of had a different purpose. Like, the silver ones were pure numbers, the gold ones benefited certain types, and the bronze ones did something tricky, like allow the lowest G power to win. Similarly, the red ones affected your roll, the blue ones affected your battle, and the green ones affected whatever they felt like. And because you basically got 1 card of each color, there was actually some really clever strategy into how you put together your deck, because you always had all of the cards in your hand at once. There were additional cards. There were the blue cards for support pieces and the purple cards for evolutions, but these didn't actually go into your hand. These were just reference cards that you placed on the field for everybody to be able to see. So it's interesting to see that they've changed that. I mean, there's still going to be reference cards. Those are what are going to be used for the character cards. So yeah, your old Bakugan won't work either, because in order for a Bakugan to be able to be put into play, it seems like it needs a corresponding character card, something that I think Monsuno tried to do but never really wound up doing. No support pieces yet so far. But it looks like the gate cards have basically been done away with in favor of Backu cores, and the ability cards are now drawn from a deck rather than being a limited resource that you had in your hand. It's going to be interesting to see how the game balances, because this is very much not the Bakugan that we had 8 years ago. We'll see, for better or worse, how it gets changed. I have seen a few stills from the production, a few screenshots from the production, and they're done by this Chinese animation company that's only sort of okay for 11-minute shorts. We'll have to see how it pans out. Like I said, I'm waiting for a trailer. I'm worried that the reason they're hiding the trailer is because they don't like how it looks. Anyway, moving on, we have the Battle Brawlers card collection pack. So, it turns out that the cards are now sold in standard boosters. And looking at the cards in general, it looks like they've been converted to standard card size, which I know was one thing that was a huge pain in the butt about the original Bakugan, was that the cards were all above standard size. They are larger than regular cards, so you couldn't put them into sleeves, you couldn't put them into collector binders. They actually had to sell special collector binders to tuck these into, especially the gate cards, because they have the thick metal core. They were really difficult to put into any kind of thing. They actually had to specially produce the items in order to store those things. So, I guess that's one point in its favor, is by switching over to a standard size, they can avoid these problems. They're also being sold in booster packs, but it looks like the booster packs, for the most part, only contain ability cards, which I guess makes sense. I mean, it would be interesting if they included, like, variant versions of the Bakugan, so you could take your standard Bakugan and play it using a different card. That might be neat, but I guess that's one thing that's nice, because these cards were also really, really hard to collect, because each Bakugan you bought gave you just 2 cards. An ability card and a gate card, unless I think the special attacks also came with their reference card in addition to all of those, but otherwise it's just an ability card and a gate card, and that's like $5 for each, and you only get the 2 cards. So the ability to collect more of the cards is going to be easy, and by the look of the fact that these new decks require like 20 cards, basically essential. So yeah, they're changing a lot here. And looking at this again, it kind of reminds me of like the cardboard like special sets you get from like the Pokemon card game, like those cardboard boxes. Not a tin, because there isn't a tin here to see. It's clearly just one of those cardboard boxes, and it even comes with an oversized card. Although since it's a reference card, I assume that it's actually tournament legal to use. So we have here Dragonoid Ultra, Pyrus Dragonoid Ultra, which comes with Shield and Burning Fist, which it looks like it is included in the box. So the Backu cores included are not random. They're meant to go with the character card. Although, does that mean that there's a Dragonoid Ultra piece that hasn't been put out yet? Or can you use this card in place of the standard Pyrus Dragonoid card? That, I think, is going to be something that we're going to have to look up. We also have Milius Ultra, which comes with 2 shields. It is, again, asking that question, is there an Ultra Nilius Bakugan gonna come out, or is this a standard card that we have to use? And looking at it, this was, I guess it's supposed to show off the contents of the booster pack. Each pack is 10 cards, and I don't know if I'm too keen on like ability card rarities and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how they do it, because I have seen plenty of cases where people have totally blown a card game design. Is there going to be any deck control? Is there going to be any draw power? Is there going to be the distinct identities that the individual attributes had in the original game, especially ones like Chaos? Like Chaos, the Chaos attribute basically was the Chaos 2 card, which allows you to basically win 2 gates at the same time. Basically, you intentionally lose the first fight against your opponent, and then you catch them on a card like Fire Dodge, where the lowest G power wins, and then you hit them with the Chaos 2 card, which takes into effect not by losing, but just by having a way lower power than your opponent, which, like I said, meant that the earliest released Bakugan with the lowest printed G power were some of the strongest in the game because of cards like Fire Dodge. You just combine the two together, and you have 2 points, and your opponent has none. When they were initially up 1-0 on you, and now you're up 2-1 on them. It's even better if you can manage to win a card first, and it goes from 1-1 to 3-0. That was part of this. That was a huge part of this game's identity, was that every attribute had its own interesting abilities, and I hope that translates forward into what we're going to be seeing in this new version of the game. Although I have no idea what to expect without like a rule sheet, without a trailer, without actually being able to get my hands on these. So we're going to have to see what happens when I'm finally able to get it, and until next time, this is Kodak signing off.